Thursday, the 8th of February 2018, and Bitcoin is currently sitting at $8,479, nearly touching the 8,500 mark, as we have bounced back from a really rapid decline. And this decline found support around the 6,900 level. Many traders wondering how low is it going to drop. As we said in our previous video, it was possible once the 100 daily moving average was breached, we could see really an extension all the way to these lower levels that are around the 200 daily moving average. As you can see, we have kind of gravitated around this 200 moving average and have actually begin to see what looks like a relief rally beginning. Although, as you can see, previous attempts at this were quickly sold off numerous times, and as we did think maybe we were having a double bottom here, using the line chart here so we can see really clearly the closes. And here we moved down to, like I said before, the high 6,000s range. I believe, there was a lot of orders firing in that range, even all the way down to 5,900. Previously, this did act as a quite interesting area where we had a dip, then a little bit of a bull run, more consolidation, and then more bidding, and then we had these huge crazy days, right? And then we have the other side of it coming down. Now, one thing to note is a lot of people have come into the market and left the market recently. It may have been your co-worker, it may be your colleague, or your neighbor, or whomever, but in around the Christmas time, everyone was getting the Bitcoin bug, and we can see that on these insanely long green candle days. If we zoom in a bit here, so with the sell-off that came after it, there was a huge amount of buying pressure still going on. But overall, I believe the sort of panic that swept into the markets over the last few days, as we've seen the price move through these psychological levels, dipping below $10,000, it was maybe a difficult time for a lot of people, especially in the local discussion on my exchange. They've been people are talking that they are suicidal and such things. I'd say, if you're feeling these ways and you're having a bad time about your trading, or you feel that it's all over, don't give up. The market goes through these cycles. What goes up must come down, and what is down must also come back up. The vice versa is true. So don't give up all hope. If your positions are totally locked and you are really out of the money, if you bought in around the 10k range, or if you're still hodling from up here, all I can suggest is maybe just turn the graph off and leave this market for a while. Stop looking at Bitcoin, trade some other markets. If you've really got the prerogative or gumption, and you wish to buy more to essentially double down, to keep investing, around this 200 daily moving average would potentially be the place where investors would have been buying in. Although what we can't tell right now, and this is the other side of the coin, this is all basing on an assumption that we are going to stop here and we'll see a relief rally this year. There is another chance that we don't see that for right now, and rather we see a more sideways view, or sideways bearish, and maybe we gradually do grind down, as much as no one really wants to talk about it and discuss that. Markets always go through a cycle. So although this was a hyper bull market, crazy, was it a bubble? There was still a huge amount of demand constantly in the market. If we look at our overall stochastic, we were staying overbought for, briefly coming below it, but overbought for basically the entire month, before it became rapidly down and rebounded. People do value Bitcoin very highly. Underneath, the fundamentals are obviously making sense for lots of people. There's only 21 million Bitcoin that'll ever be available. Lots were lost in the Mt. Gox exchange incident, and otherwise there's been potentially other coins lost and not traded. Who knows exactly how many are tradable right now, but we also know that the halvening will happen on miner reward in 2020. So there's lots of reasons to be bullish on Bitcoin, and with the recent hearing, there's also more reason to be bullish because regulation is looking like it's going to come in. So hopefully the FUD that we saw through all of these shutdown stories, Korea ban, what other FUD do we have recently? There was all kinds of banning news, right? And just general, like, credit cards cutting it off, cutting off purchases, and just general much uncertainty in the market. I think that with the recent hearing at the Senate, we actually have quite a bullish news, and this year potentially we could see ourselves hitting a new all-time high, although it may not be for a little while yet. Right now we're definitely going to have another upward move right now, it looks like, as we're coming out of this oversold territory here. Hopefully we will continue up into overbought, maybe coming and gravitating back around this 100 daily moving average. Whether or not this will hold, if we'll have a quick sell-off like we saw before, that's something that we'll wait and see. But right now it is looking like that was the potential bottom. So we'll keep following this over the continuing days and bringing more news on Bitcoin USD. We're at Ethereum. You see that the market basically sold off in exactly the same way as the rest of the crypto space did during the breakdown of late January, early February. You see, as we came back to the 100 daily moving average and began to bounce off that back towards, hopefully, coming to sit above this $1,000 range. As you see previously, it did look like possibly 1,000 was going to become a key support. We had a couple bounces off it, and it did try and kind of pull back on this dead cat bounce before. Hopefully it will sit above the psychological level as we go through 2018, and right now it could look like a good time to add more to your Ethereum position. So yeah, we'll see what happens later in the year with Ethereum, with the proof of stake updates coming in. This would potentially pretty much completely change the game for Ethereum, because people who are holding a large amount of tokens would then be paid on the network through their stake rather than mining rewards. So it would mean another reason to accumulate Ethereum tokens and hold on to them. With more regulation coming in the ICO space, what we can hopefully look forward to seeing is a lot more decent proper businesses coming out as ICOs, and much less of this HYIPs and scams. And for that reason, hopefully we'll see a much more efficient, much more stable market. So as we just wait and see how this development goes, you can see various plateaus coming up as we move through the Ethereum price, and I believe that it will continue to appreciate because the underlying mechanics of Ethereum are sound. Although the software is currently in a pre-alpha state really, and a lot of people have problems with the wallets, with syncing, and it is in no way a completely finished product. It does enable people to have ERC20 tokens and lots of features with the smart contracts which are coded in the Solidity language. This is really quite a breakthrough, is having those smart contracts which can potentially enable us to do a lot of things, but at the same time can also open up some pretty nasty doors. So if you're running a smart contract and you were to get hacked, your tokens were taken, as we've seen happen with many projects. That is the only risk of those things. But hopefully as we go forward and we have more companies such as Zeppelin Solutions, which do really great security audits and look at ERC20 tokens and such things, hopefully we see more happening on the Ethereum platform. Definitely a space for things like lotteries and also the decentralized exchanges and also things like the decentralized exchanges should definitely make Ethereum a very, very interesting asset in 2018. So yeah, if you've been thinking about getting some, it is currently sitting just above the 100 moving average. Whether or not this will drop lower down to the 200 moving average, or if we're going to just start climbing back up, we will continue to monitor and see. Stochastics currently is sitting Stochastics currently is sitting on a rebound back from the oversold territory and may continue this rise all the way up to overbought, which would potentially take us back over the 1000 handle. What we'll be looking for is to see if it can pass over the significant 55 level, and if that won't, bounce down off it again like it has done in previous times, or if it will find support there, and yeah, we'll just take it from there.